Hi guys, this is Claudia of the Alexandrite system. A question I find comes up a lot with DID and OSTD is the question of who is the original? Really, the question that people want to ask is who is the real one, but I've already gotten into that sort of thing before. So instead of just dismissing this outright, let's engage with this question. Which of us is the first personality? Which one was born with the body? Unfortunately, that involves a lot of guesswork with the incomplete nature of system memory. But let's start at the obvious one. A lot of people assume that the host is the original personality. So in our case, a lot of people assume that Sandra is the one that is real and was born with the body. But frequent viewers of this channel will know that past hosts are a topic that's up for debate in our system. Since Sandra and Glow most likely used to be the same person, that means that technically, Sandra wasn't always host. Sandra only became host when she split off around 21-22. That means that despite being the one that most people interact with, Sandra is not the original personality. And since Glow didn't technically exist until that time either, that means that we can cross her off as well. So of the alters that we know of at this moment, that leaves us with 4 possible original suspects. Susan, Ellen, Sunny, and me. Now, Susan mostly holds memories from between ages 12 and 14, but we don't know if she split off at age 12, or if she was already around and just took up the role of host around that time and has most of those memories. But since she can't remember much of a time before age 12, I think it's pretty safe to cross out Susan as the suspect. On the other hand, Ellen's earliest memory is around age 11, but Sandra remembers drawing pictures of her between ages 10 and 11. So we can assume from those pictures that Ellen has been around at least since 10 or 11. But since the body did not spring fully formed at age 10 from the head of Zeus, we can probably assume that Ellen isn't the original either. So what about Sunny? Sunny is 6 years old. We don't know if Sunny was created at age 6 or if Sunny was created later to just be a sense of childhood innocence. So what about me? Sandra's earliest memories of me fronting go back to age 6. However, I have memories that go back to maybe age 4, though they become rather hard to place, and even as I'm talking about them, I am dissociating really hard. So that leaves us with 3 suspects. Me, Sunny, or Sandra and Glow together. Which one of us is the original? It doesn't matter. We can trace our memories back as far as we can, but at a certain point, we're not going to be able to know. In fact, there's the possibility that our original may have integrated into somebody else at some point. Or that Sandra and Glow together were the original, but now that they've broken apart, that person doesn't exist anymore. And we can sit here and debate who may have been it, who may not have been it, who may have existed around what time, but it doesn't matter for interacting with us. Quick trigger warning for death and conspiracy theories. So there's this old conspiracy theory that Paul McCartney actually died in like 1966 and he was replaced by a body double. But here's the thing with that. Even if that were true, and the Paul McCartney that we have now isn't the original Paul McCartney, we've had fake Paul for way longer. Fake Paul might as well be real Paul. And that's sort of the point I'm trying to make here. I may not be the Alexandra, but I am an Alexandra, and that's all that's necessary. Thank you for watching, everyone.